Hello, United Rogue Overwatch. Thank you for joining us on week 6 here. We do have a week 6 matchup. We've got Baltimore versus Dallas. I am your host for tonight, Storm221, solo casting, unless someone decides to join me mid-match. But we will see. We've got a pretty exciting matchup here. As I said before, Baltimore versus Dallas, and their week 6 makeup. Um, We've already got state or map bans out of the way, and we are going to Busan for map 1. So I'm curious to see what happens here, to be honest, because this isn't the biggest matchup. This is like it's Baltimore's 1-4. Baltimore and War. The Baltimore like division is kind of just being completely and utterly swept by Buffalo. Um, but if Baltimore can pick up at least a map win, I think they will take that. Dallas, however, needs a win for sure, considering where they are in their conference. Vancouver being the top dogs there. But if they want to beat out Chicago, then a win is going to be pretty important here. But Dallas does play against Vancouver on their Week 7 match, and War is going to be playing against Baltimore for theirs. So that's going to be a pretty interesting matchup as well in that division. Yeah, hopefully we're going to be getting into this soon. Still having some chatter going on in the chat. But we do have the map bans. I believe we are just setting up the team orders on the screen or in the lobby. Yeah, Busan first map. Probably going to be seeing some Reinhardt from Zach. Reinhardt, little bit of. I'm curious to see if we see the log ball come out. Maybe not. Arunos is in, so we could be seeing some Doomfist as well. I'm very excited for that. As a big Doomfist guy, I love that character. And hey, maybe we'll even get to see a little bit of Hazard. It's a little freak off. Just waiting here. Looks like we're gonna be a little bit more time. Cake needing to go get some food. It does look like it's actually gonna be Dire on tank, I believe, judging by team orders right now. It looks like it's gonna be Dire on tank, Zach Strider DPS, White Rain Log on support, and for Baltimore, we're gonna have Aranos on the tank as per usual, Gingerbread and Choco Man on the DPS, and Cake and Trash Can on the support. Choco Man, obviously known for his DPS play here in United Rogue Overwatch. Has been having a little bit of an off season, it seems like, because usually the teams he's on do really well, but Baltimore's been struggling just a little bit. But also just in the face of that Buffalo team, it's like, what can you do sometimes? That team is insanely good right now. Still waiting on Cake, it looks like. We do have another match later today, so stay tuned for that as well. It's going to be give me 1 second here. We have Baltimore versus Dallas today. And we also have Montreal and KCC in the Emerald League today as well. That's going to be a pretty big match because Montreal needs a win, and KCC, I believe, is already eliminated from playoff contention. So they could play spoiler to Montreal if they could pull off a win. I think that is definitely going to be a pretty interesting matchup to watch, and potentially a very deciding matchup for Montreal's fate in playoffs. And now we're waiting on Arinos. So Baltimore a little unprepared, but that's all right. Hopefully y'all are having a good day in the chat room. Hopefully y'all are ready to watch a little bit of Overwatch gaming. I know I sure am. Whenever we're able to get started here. And it looks like we are going in finally. We've got the match up and ready. Everybody's here. And we're ready to play some Overwatch. So here we go, on to Basan. A bunch of different comps can definitely be played here, a lot of different characters. We start out on, I believe this one is called Sanctuary? Aranos on the Doomfist, yeah, as expected. And Dire on the Junker Queen. So we've got some brawl. We've got a little bit of brawl. We've got a Sojourn Mirror on Gingerbread and Strider. White Rain sticking onto the Mercy, which they are very comfortable on. And Log on the Kiriko instead of the Lucio, but that's probably just because you don't want to be running Lucio Mercy with this. It looks like Baltimore making some last-minute switches. Cake onto the Juno, Trashcan onto the Kiriko. Zach onto the Symmetra to TP out. I'm wondering if he's going to be making a quick swap to another character. Yep, there it is, the Genji. Dire popping Shout early to get his team there, but he's going to go really low, and he's not going to have Shout to really help him, but the Mercy's on him. He's getting healed slowly but surely. Arnos getting that charge punch, getting out of there. And Arnos just being really annoying, and Gingerbread able to take out Zach. That's going to be the first pick of the fight. White Rain also falls, so now they only have Log on Kiriko as their support. Arnos just pushing over to the point for a moment, letting his team get over there. Now right back into the fray. He is just in there harassing this Junker Queen, and down she goes. Zach is back now, but Arnos just still on him, just dogging on him right now. As Dallas tries to regroup a little bit here. But Baltimore showing very aggressive gameplay early on here, and I'm liking it a lot. It's working real well. We have no deaths on the side of Baltimore quite yet. Arnos, ooh, barely missing that punch there. Kind of just went through everybody. It looked like everybody kind of just cleared out. But he's going to try and get that charge punch again. He's going to get it. He's going to look for the back line. Oh, he's going to barely miss. And there's a big carnage or rampage from Dire. He's going to hit the knife onto Gingerbread, but Gingerbread's going to stay alive. Trashcan able to save Gingerbread for a really long time and enable him to get out of there. So Gingerbread not quite going to fall, and the ultimates are looking good on the side of Baltimore. They've got 80 to Meteor Strike, and everything else is online. Meanwhile, Dallas only has 3 ults, coming up on 4. Dire used his a little bit early, but it was able to secure that fight win for him, so. Arnos rotating back onto the point. On the Kiriko, looking for the support. that's a big punch from Arnos. That's gonna take out the Kiriko, but the Mercy's gonna get the res off. And a big Suzu's gonna stop, but the Mercy's 1 health. Gingerbread takes out White Rain. It's a big Juno ult, and ult's getting popped everywhere, it looks like. Dallas using everything, but looks like they're not going to be able to take the fight. Meanwhile, Baltimore only really committed 3 or 2 actually. They committed Arnos. They got Cakes off as well, and they still have Rush and Sojourn overclock to use for the next fight. And Arnos doing some little bit of tricks, a little bit of sliding up. Dire almost has his ulti back. Looks like we've got a cream here between Chocoman and Strider, but Arnos falls really quickly. Trash Can using the ultimate, using the Kitsune Rush to try and stabilize, and Chocoman just doing the rest, using that Kitsune Rush to max efficiency, and is able to just completely wipe out Dallas there.
Area denial. Target's locked.
And that's a big first round for Baltimore, taking that pretty convincingly too. Dallas only really had control of the point for 1 fight. Arnos did feed a little bit there, admittedly. Says please report our doom. It's all right though.
No nonsense.
Still got the dub.
Do this clean. Copy.
Gingerbread came in and definitely helped out.
You're the one who kicked Red Ned in the wicker basket.
He started it.
From scrap.
It's like Arnos switching to the Roadhog. He was talking about how upset he was at Ilios getting banned. So it looks like he was looking to play a little bit of Hog, and he's gonna pull it out here now.
In my world,
Immediately gets knifed, goes down to around half, but no worries here. He's also got the snowman skin on for that Christmas spirit. We got Reaper and Sombra on the side of Dallas though, and that's going to be pumping a lot of damage in that Roadhog. Zach going low, able to TP out before the Roadhog hits him. Down goes Strider though, but there's a lot of really low. I was gonna say there was a lot of really low people on Baltimore, but they all kind of just went right back up.
the breeze brings relief.
And now it's just White Rain running away to get back to her team. A pretty convincing fight win it looked like for Baltimore. There was a couple of times where things looked a little shaky, but they stabilized and pulled it back together and were able to win that fight. Here we go. Going with the shout, but Zach falls really early. Oh, but Gingerbread gets pulled back on the slide. What a knife from Dire. However, they trade that off for Log. Oh, Cake getting dangerously low to falling, but is able to escape by the skin of his teeth. Baltimore holding this pretty well. Arnos getting some ult charge from healing off that damage. Oh, but he gets knifed. That's a little bit scary. And he just gets a hook. He pulls him in. That's a good Suzu from Trash Can, but that's exactly what Dire was looking for the ultimate. For the Rampage. Strider gets 2 off of the Death Blossom, gets another, and Dire comes in, help clean up the third. Or the last person on Baltimore. And that's gonna be a clean team kill for Dallas. Really good job of getting that Suzu out and popping the Rampage from Dire. Just able to clean up from there. Oh, Arnos gets a really early pick on the Zach, but Nano's out onto the Junker Queen. Here comes the rush from the side of Baltimore, and here comes the whole hog. But Arnos falls right as he popped the whole hog. It felt like he fell to the Bionade. But Trash Can putting in some work on the Kiriko, saying I'm not just a healer. I can put in those damage numbers too. And that's gonna scare Dallas off to the point where they give up the point. Zach falling early kind of screwed them over in that scenario, and they just pushed their advantage despite Arnos also falling pretty early. Here comes White Rain's ult. A lot of people falling low, but doing a really good job of falling back. Arnos falls really early, though. Just as I was saying, the team is doing a good job. They trade off for Strider. Choco Man kills White Rain, but Log immediately answering back with a kill on the Choco. Now Baltimore kind of just trying to stabilize here. They got the point for a little bit, but didn't really matter much. Oh, but here comes Gingerbread with the overclock. Dyer's gonna fall. Oh, and it almost picks off White Rain from the other side of the map. Not quite gonna get the pick, but Arnos is back, and they're gonna have to give up the point. They will get one more fight though to try and clean this up. And they have two really big ultimates in EMP and Rampage, but Dyer falls to Arnos. Rampage is off the table. Log goes down as well. And from here, it's just cleanup on the side of Baltimore. Zach trying to just gets that EMP off, but it's too little too late, and Baltimore's going to take that map convincingly. 2-0. Some really big plays coming out from the Gingerbread Sojourn I saw. And Choco Man clearly putting in some work too on the Cassidy. Oh, honestly, just overall, a really good just team effort from Baltimore there. They were all doing big things. Trash Can and Cake keeping them alive when they needed. Arnos making that space, even if he died a few times when he didn't need to. Still gave his team the room to work, and that's all they really needed. Meanwhile, Dallas looked a little bit out of it, but they are definitely a team that are capable of pulling it back together. As we wait for the next map pick. They could possibly take the Widow duel on circuit between Choco Man and Strider if they feel confident enough in doing that. There's honestly a lot of options here for Dallas. It doesn't look like there's going to be any comp changes going on. But yeah, Busan honestly led. Baltimore just seemed fully in control there. They dropped maybe a fight or two, but they were able to get back together and just delete Dallas. It felt like Dallas just scrambled whenever Baltimore made a push. Meanwhile, whenever Dallas made a big push, Baltimore stood their ground and managed their ultis very, very well. I think that was also a big one. Was the ult usage on the side of Baltimore. They were doing very, very, very well on it. Trash Can coming in with some timely Kitsune rushes. Cake coming in with some pretty big Juno ults as well. Just looking like a complete effort from Baltimore, which is something that Dallas was seeming to lack in that game one. But sometimes you start slow, you know. It happens. It's the comms needed few matches to get going. That's disrespectful, Arnos. I can't believe you just said that. I cannot believe you just said that in chat. There's no way. He said W support Dallas, W scrim. That is BM. But yeah, the comms can take a few rounds to get going. And I think Dallas can definitely pull this back. This is definitely not a game set match for Baltimore here. Arnos, you don't have to type in chat, you know? You don't have to say these things. I'm not repeating that. I'm not repeating that for the stream. Still no map picks. On the side of Dallas, though. But yeah, like I said, there's the full map pool is definitely on the table for Dallas. They are very versatile. I've played with them quite a bit. They have a lot of depth in their hero pools and in their hero pools, and they're able to play pretty much any kind of map. Looks like they are going to Eichenwald. We're headed to Germany, fellas. Eichenwald, a pretty popular pick in UR this season, actually. It's definitely one of the favorites of my team, Miami. Sorry if you heard a little disturbance there. My laptop was not plugged in. That would have been disastrous, actually, if I had not if I had not realized that. Whoops. But yeah, we've got Eichenwald. We've got Dyer still on tank. So no Reinhardt, no Zach Reinhardt, it would appear, for the Eichenwald. Curious to see if we'll see any Junkrat. Because that's been a very common pick on this map for a lot of teams, it feels like. Although I'm not sure who on Baltimore would go Junkrat. Because Choco Man's definitely a hit scan. He is Mr. Hit Scan. Gingerbread, I haven't really seen too much of, but it looks like they're gonna be Gingerbread's gonna be sticking with the Saj here, and Arnos on the comfort Doomfist pick. We love to see it. Oh, we do have a role swap actually. So we have Dyer on DPS, which is, I feel like his normal his normal role, and we have Zach on the Squigma, and Arnos in a stall spot right now. Just chilling up there. He's been playing his Doomfist parkour.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Oh, but Zach makes a last second swap to Orisa actually, and they have I don't think they have any idea that Arnos is up there. So we could be seeing some shenanigans here. And down he drops, and a big punch! Oh, he's going to explode! Not even a second after they turned, and he is dead. And Baltimore's gonna have to back up a little bit. Oh, but Choco Man on a flank of his own and is going to get White Rain. Let's see if Baltimore gets a touch here before... Yep, they do. And now it's Choco Man versus Dire on the left side. A big flash. And a really, really good job of Baltimore stabilizing as Choco Man just wipes the floor with the Dallas backline before moving on to everybody else. I think that was a 4K. I think the only person he didn't kill there was Log. But Arnos doing a little bit of trolling. But Baltimore able to stabilize, reset, and get it back with only 2 ticks on the board for Dallas. Dire looks to go to the high ground, but thinks differently. And Arno's charging a big punch, but immediately gets flashbanged. But Choco Man gonna beat Strider in that scenario, and Arnos is really, really low again, but nobody's looking at him. And now Log is able to get Arnos, but it's not looking too hot for Dallas as Zach just makes a beeline to the point. And he gets it. He gets there, stalls long enough for his Kiriko to get there, and Baltimore's forced to back off. It's a very interesting point 1. A lot of weird stuff happened, but Dallas ultimately coming out on top. We got Arnos in the backline again. He's gonna get a little bit disrupted by this Orisa, and he's gonna fall again. That's another death for Arnos. Cake looking a little purple, backs off for the moment. But that's gonna leave Choco Man really vulnerable as Dallas looking a lot more cohesive right now, moving as just one big unit. Choco Man falls, Cake falls. That's gonna be another fight win for Dallas. So this is a very, it almost seems like a different Dallas team than we saw in round 1. Arnos making the switch onto the Roadhog. Definitely an interesting pick into the Orisa. Not the most fun tank matchup to play, but we'll see if he can make it work. He's looking, okay, yeah, he's looking for a hook on second point. Here comes Bob. And there's a big Choco Man ult, but Arnos is gonna fall really quickly. Cake pops ulti, but also falls. And Gingerbread coming in from behind. Dire got nanoed. Log gets really low and falls. Is Baltimore gonna pull this back out? Oh, Choco Man falls. Or Gingerbread falls, and it's just Choco Man, but Trash Can doing the cleanup here. And Baltimore able to clean it up, get everybody back. And they're set back up. Very good job of stabilizing and getting that fight win. That's going to be really big. And Zach, after using the Terra Surge, is going to swap onto the Monkey. And log onto the Lucio as well. Arnos looking for a big amount of charge, but here comes the rush from White Rain. Strider gonna take out Choco Man. Log gonna take out Trash Can. Those are 2 pretty big picks. However, Dallas is without their tank. And Arnos is sitting there on full charge. Oh, but that's a really scary ult from Strider, but it's gonna get shut down by Gingerbread. Both of the supports come up behind Arnos, but aren't going to really be able to do much. And Gingerbread pops ult and just starts cleaning up. And Zach gets back there for a few seconds before falling as well. And Strider deciding that the Kree is not working. However, Dire deciding that he wants to give the Kree, give Hitscan Jesus, see if he can give Hitscan Jesus a little bit more of a matchup on the Kree mirror. While Strider swaps off the Sojourn, so we have a DPS mirror. And here comes Dallas pushing up through Castle. Arnos falling really low, but getting healed. But they did have to burn Suzu for that. However, no more on the side of Dallas. And that's going to be a big grab. And with no beat or anything to save them, that's just going to cut up Dallas and put them through the ringer. And that's going to be another dominant fight win. Only really one ulti used for Baltimore.
Disappointing.
and rush, getting up along with the other support ult in the beam, tractor beam, and we have a Choco Man ulti as well. Zach getting up there, getting involved, but it's gonna fall really low, and that's gonna prove to be an overextension, a costly mistake. Dallas trying to push through Castle while maybe trying to use Zach as a distraction, but Zach fell way faster than I think they expected him to. And now Arnos has the supports isolated. Not gonna be able to get them though, as Log uses some slippery tricks, but he runs straight into Choco Man and is gonna get gunned down. I don't think Log was expecting to see Choco Man standing right there. Now Dallas is gonna need to get a touch. They're probably gonna be able to get one more. Zach jumps up. Choco Man pops ult, not gonna get anybody with it, but it is useful for zoning. They do get the touch. Log almost Ajaxes, but gets it off. And here come the ultis from Baltimore. That's a Dire able to take out Choco Man with his ult, but he falls. And Baltimore almost abandoned the point, and Strider trying to pop his ulti, not quite gonna be able to get anybody with it. And that's gonna be the end of Dallas's attack. They looked really dominant to start, but things kind of just fell apart, especially after Arno swapped to that Zarya. They didn't really seem to have an answer for that. But Trashcan definitely coming in with some clutch heals to save the Zarya quite a few times, and let the Zarya get out with the charge, so that the Zarya can do what the Zarya does best, and that's melt people. So in we go to round 2. Let's see what Baltimore has cooking up on the attack. We're back on the Doomfist as expected. Arnos able to play a little bit more aggressive here on attack, on his comfort Doomfist. Zach back onto the Sigma for defense. White Rain onto the Zenyatta, and Log on the BAP, which I don't think we've seen yet. But Log definitely isn't a bad Baptiste. Plus, it'll help give them a bit more sustainability, with the very high damage being output from Choco Man and Gingerbread on the DPS line. Strider onto the Ashe, Dire onto the Hanzo. So definitely looking to play more long range against these more mid-range hit scans, and Arnos immediately peeks that corner and gets a charged punch. It's exactly that's what he loves to see here. Baltimore making a little bit of a push, but Trashcan's gonna fall real early to Strider, and Strider's just popping off. Getting 2 picks easy and forcing Baltimore to rethink their strategy here. Arnos in a little stall spot. He's chilling. Gonna wave hello. Not quite gonna be able to get back up there though. Hit his head a little bit, but Choco Man is going to take out Strider. And now the entire team is back together, so they're going to be looking for a big push here. That's a big punch from from Arnos into Dire. Gets in there. And now he's going to punch Log, and Log's actually going to take the stun damage from that little pillar there. And Trashcan finishing up the cleanup, as she has been doing for quite a few fights. And Zach onto the Reinhardt. Definitely a comfort pick here. He's got that nice gilded skin too. We love to see that. Oh, but that's a really low Baptiste, and a big punch from Arnos is gonna take him out, punching him out of his immortality field, so he can't just keep staying alive. And Dallas is gonna have to do some big regrouping here. Log swapping onto the Ana. Gingerbread gonna take out Dire. That is not what Dallas wants to see right now. But Arnos getting really involved, and that's a little bit questionable, I think. Trashcan falling. I think Arnos knows that was a little overboard. And Baltimore gonna have to regroup here. Choco Man has his ulti. We're getting close to a Cake ult as well. Strider coming close to Bob on the side of Dallas, and White Rain coming close to that Transcendence. Chocoman on a little bit of a flank and a really good coordination from Chocoman and Arnos to jump into that Ash at the same time. Trashcan is going to fall. That leaves them with only Cake heals here. Gingerbread gonna fall to Dire, and Dire doing some big work here too now. He's gonna fall to Chocoman. Chocoman playing this corner and is gonna go in there with his Doomfist. That Zenyatta's really low. A big meteor strike from Arnos. Oh, but there goes Bob into that room and gonna try and pressure out Arnos, and he's gonna do the job well. Ooh. And oh, that was a big field. I'm not sure what that ability called, but the vortex field thing from Dire, and that's gonna be able to finish off Arnos. Oh, they're pushing the bot still. Gingerbread and Trashcan getting some of that precious bot push, and they still have 3 minutes left. So that's some big plays. I don't think Dal was ready for that. And here they are together. Here comes the Juno ulti. Arnos gonna be looking for some big punches. A shatter from Zac. And Dire's gonna pop off with an ulti of his own. That was a big ulti from Dire. And a good shatter from oh, and they're gonna find Chocoman. Chocoman is gonna take out Dire though. Oh, he's gonna take out Log. Dire just wreaking havoc in their back line, and that's gonna give Baltimore a chance to push up now. Oh, a good counter pin from Zac to prevent him from potentially getting booped off the map there. Here comes a Kitsune rush on the side of Baltimore. Trashcan's gonna fall really quickly though. Yeah, they kind of popped that without Chocoman there, and Gingerbread also fell. Looks like they were just trying to get one last ditch effort, but I don't think that was really needed. They still have 2 minutes left. Now Arnos is kind of in that same position that Chocoman was in that castle behind Dallas. And they spotted him now. But he's Doomfist, so he'll be able to get out of there pretty easily, get back to his team.
There they are. Get ready.
So now Baltimore working on a regroup. Stacking up inside this castle. They know there's no threat of an Earth Shatter, so they're not worried about that. So they know they're able to stack up in there pretty safely.
Not so fast.
Chocoman getting low. Backs up behind cover, able to get some heals. And they're kind of just looking for an opening here, it looks like. And Arnos is going to try and create that opening, but everybody clears out and wisely punches out. I'm just going to play behind this card. He's going to look for a punch onto Zac. Chocoman beats Dire, so now they're up. And now he's going to ulti. Oh, and a big punch from Arnos is able to expose Zac, sorry. And Gingerbread getting 2 with that ulti. Arnos taking out Log. White Rain is gonna take out Trashcan. And Gingerbread too, and now has a Suzu. Arnos is gonna get the kill, is gonna hit the meteor strike. But that bought time for Zac to come back. That was huge from White Rain, getting those 2 picks. Able to stall time for Zac and the rest of the team to get back, and they were able to just clean up from there. And all of a sudden, Baltimore's only looking at 29 seconds to take this map. Cake gets staggered really hard too. Gingerbread and Chocoman kind of just chilling, but they've got to make a move. They are going to have a guaranteed touch on Arnos.
This ends now.
And here comes the ultimate from Dire. Going to see if he can get anybody. Strider takes out Gingerbread. They're down 1.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Here comes the ultimate from White Rain. A big sleep from Log. And they're going to turn around. Trashcan falls. Arnos is going to... Ooh, Arnos dangerously close to killing himself there, but he's not going to be able to get back to the point, and Dallas is going to hold strong. Despite that strong first point of attack from Baltimore, Dallas is just going to hold there. and they're gonna take the W. And all of a sudden, it's 1-1. It was looking really good for Baltimore there, but Dallas held strong. Zach definitely looked more comfortable on the Reinhardt than some of the other characters he'd picked that time, and I think that was a big contributing factor. But White Rain also coming in really clutch, getting 2 down and stalling the cart for long enough for Zach to get back and help clean up. And like I said, all of a sudden we have 1-1. We have a match score 1-1 going into map 3. I really liked the swap to Zach on tank though. I think Dyer felt more comfortable on DPS in this kind of matchup. And was able to put in some really big work on the Sojourn. Meanwhile, Zach doing what he does best on the tank. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Dallas really pulling it back from map 1, playing like one big cohesive unit. Some clutch individual plays coming out as well, especially at the very end. And all of it kind of combined to make a really close map, a really fun map to watch as well. Probably not as fun for Baltimore, but that's just how it is. Now we're going to see where Baltimore decides to head to next. I want to see the RNO Zarya a little bit more, though, because he was playing really well on that defense. And I think that might be the answer. Although I would understand if he wouldn't really want to play it into the Reinhardt. I still think it could be a solid pick. He was putting in work, especially with the help of Trash Can keeping him alive. He was able to just stay at 100 charge, or just high charge in general, for a really long time. Still no map pick from Baltimore, deliberating over their choices, trying to decide what they want to do. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to see a Circuit Royale pick and see Choco Man try it out on the Widow. It looks like we're going to be going to Colosseo instead. Still another map where Widow can absolutely be played with that long sight line down the first the part where the bot starts. A lot of interesting spots to be played. Reinhardt can also be played here if Zach chooses to do so. Maybe we'll get to see if Arnos has some cool little spots on this map too. And in we go. Into Colosseo. Traveling to Italy. So let's see what these two teams decide to go with. There's definitely a lot of different comps that could be played here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Arnos back on the Doomfist comfort pick. Cake saying laggy this one for you in the chat. Let's see it. What's he doing? Is he locking? He's locking Zen. So we have the same DPS line as far as Baltimore is concerned. Gingerbread on the Sojourn, Choco Man on the Cassidy, Arnos on the Doomfist, Cake on the Zenyatta, which we haven't seen yet, and Trash Can sticking on that Kiriko. And we have Dire on Sojourn, Strider on the Widow, and then we have White Rain on. We have a Juno Brig comp with White Rain and Log. And then we have Zac on the Reinhardt, switching between 3 different tanks. I think I saw a little hazard there for a moment, but he thinks against it and decides to just go with the comfort Reinhardt, which I can respect for sure. Chalkman getting a really early pick on the Dire though. And Zac trying to make a play, but with that Discord orb on him, it's just not even gonna be able to last for any more than a second and a half. And that's gonna be a really clean first fight win for Baltimore here. Arnos is in there too. He says, "Get me involved." I didn't come here to sit back and wait for you guys to respawn. I wanna play the video game. He gets that charge punch too. And he spots the 2 trying to go back down and get a little bit sneaky behind him. And he's gonna find him, but Law gonna do an immediate turnaround and a big counter pin. Not quite gonna be able to kill him though, leaving him on 33 health. Strider does take out Choco Man, however. And Log gonna take out Cake. And it looks like Arnos is gonna bail here. Gingerbread not able to get out. Trash Can follows the Doomfist out as Cake and Choco Man come back, but they did get forward spawn, which is big. Because now Gingerbread gets back even faster. Forward spawn away, but it's not that big of a deal. Ooh, and a big counter pin from Zac. Let's see if they're able to do anything with it. Not quite. Arnos looking for the big punch, but Zac wisely staying behind that pillar. Discord orb on that Cassidy. Not going to be able to kill him though. Ooh, but there he goes. He finds him. And Arnos going really low. Gets a big Suzu from Trash Can. That's a huge punch. And a big Transcendence to confirm that the Doomfist stays alive. And he's already back in there. He's looking for that. He's looking for that Juno. The Sojourn behind is going to deter him a little bit, though. Oh, and he looks for a punch, but isn't able to get out like he thought he was going to, and that's an early pick. But Gingerbread taking Dire out in the middle of his ulti, and that's going to be if I'm Dire, I want that ulti back immediately. And Gingerbread running for his life away from this Reinhardt. And Zac's gonna sacrifice his life to take out that. He saw that Sojourn and says, I want you dead, and I will stop at nothing to see it. And credit to him, he did get it. But ooh, Choco Man not expecting the Brig to come up from behind, and that's gonna be a big pick. But Baltimore still getting a lot of cart push from this, or a lot more than you thought they would, because it's. And Dire getting 2, making Baltimore have to come back. But they do have 4 ultis on the board, 2 Dallas's 3. However, they have no methods to block the Earth Shatter. So if Zac can find them grouped together at all, it's gonna be big. We also have a Juno ulti just in case things go a little sour. And Arnos having a Doomfist ult for the same reason. I don't know what he was punching there. He really wanted to show that wall what he thought of it. Log hiding behind that wall, and he's gonna get in there and help. And Strider kind of panic ulting there, and it's not gonna get anybody. And Arnos sees the Sojourn shooting. He's in a tense 1v1. He's gonna take it. And now we have Zac falling really low to the Cassidy, not quite gonna fall. And he's gonna barely live on about 33 health. Oh, but Arnos is there! And he's gonna get the health pack too! So he's still in the fight. Arno's coming in and picking off the low health Zach from out of nowhere. But now Arnos finds himself in a really sticky situation. Trashcan is there to help though. Chocoman gets a big pick on a Dire. Here comes a Shatter. Is gonna get Trashcan, but a big punch from Arnos to save Trashcan. He is gonna fall, but the Kiriko stayed alive. And here comes a Chocoman ulti. However, they don't have Arnos to punch Zach out of shield. And they're just gonna have to settle with that, but it does scare them enough. And it allows the rest of the team to go behind Zach and take out everybody else. Oh, and Chocoman spotting the Tracer. Oh, and a really risky recall there. Definitely couldn't have gotten him killed, but Zach swapping onto the Zarya.
Ends now.
And Arnos is in there with no cooldowns, and he's gonna fall, yeah. And Dire putting in some work with his ulti. Gingerbread gonna fall. It looks like we have a lot of comfort picks coming out on the side of Dallas, aside from Zach. Dire's been comfortable on the Sojourn all day. Strider loves his Tracer. Log on the Lucio. And White Rain on the Moira. We definitely see that a lot as well. Arnos falling a little bit low. He's kind of in there. Able to get back to his team, though. That's going to be a lot of charge for Zach, though. Sitting around 50. And Arno still is in there. And he's just going to fall. The rest of his team had fallen way behind. And without the Juno, it's a little bit harder for his team to get around. And that's going to be the rest of the team falling. So effectively a team kill. Arnos did die really early, but they were able to clean up the rest of them. Oh, and now Arnos getting jumped. Dallas pushing up and holding a lot of space here. Oh, and Trashcan popping the ulti. Maybe not quite where she wanted to. Chocoman in the ulti, looking for somebody behind, able to find Zach. Oh, and gets a big... Oh my goodness, Chocoman getting a big flash, not able to hit the Tracer while she's, you know, slowed from the flash, but then hits a nasty little flick right after. That was definitely interesting. You know, sometimes it's just how these hit scan players are. Find it tough to hit the standing still target, but when it comes to the hard shots, yeah, they've got it. Arnos in there again. Getting some pretty big picks. Zach getting really low. And Arnos finds it and immediately capitalizes. And he finds Log too. Log's 1 health. Gets the kill. Dire looking for the kill. Can't find it on Arnos. And while everybody goes for Arnos, Chocoman and Chocoman, Cake, and Gingerbread are just back there cleaning up. Trashcan did fall and is definitely not going to get the forward spawn. Cake didn't either, which is going to be a little bit troublesome here. Baltimore might need to fall back some, yep. And out goes Arnos, trying to escape. Gets that Orb of Harmony, but it's not going to be healing up too much. Cake is in there, but gets a huge Suzu from Trashcan to get the Pulse Bomb off. And so Cake lives to see another day, thanks to Trashcan heroics. Arnos looking for a target. Everybody else kind of just poking out. Chocoman is a little bit deep. He's hiding a little bit, but he's going to fall to a Strider Helix Rocket as Strider makes a swap to Soldier as we reach the 1 minute mark on the timer. Cake popping Transcendence to keep his team alive. Log popping Beat to do the same for his. Both of them wearing out about the same time.
Meteor strike.
Arnos popping ultimate to stay alive against Strider. And he's looking for a big pick and punches Log. Down goes Zach as well with a big rush from Trashcan. Oh, but Argonos is going to fall, but Dyer's the last one standing on the side of Dallas, and that's going to be a comfortable fight win. And they're going to leave the bot there to see if they can maybe get them to not touch. There's still 9 seconds left, though. Chocolate Man pushes up a little bit and decides to fall back. They're not too worried about it. Zach falling really low and is going to get picked off real early. The Lucio in there as well, not going to be able to do much. Strider up on the high ground, gets jumped by the Doomfist, and it's just clean up from there for Baltimore as they get a pretty dominant win. Not too much on the side of Dallas there, to be honest. It felt like they were fighting and being able to sustain really long, but at the end of the day, they just kept losing those really important fights. And we have Chocolate Man in play of the game once again. We've got the shout out to Martha Stewart Eggnog for being Baltimore's MVP tonight, apparently. So that's going to be 2-1 in Baltimore's favor. Moving on to match point here. If Dallas can dig deep and find what they had on that Eichenwald game, on their Eichenwald defense, then this is absolutely not over. But Baltimore looking really comfortable right now, and they're going to be taking this big momentum into game 4. And Cake showing off the Zenyatta too. He was playing well. Had some big transcendences, and the Discord orb placement was also solid as well. We love to see that. He wasn't playing well. He was backpacking his team. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, not hating. Arnos, pick your map, man. Come on now. It looks like we are going to Clash. Onto Anubis, which is not actually a map we've seen very much in UR. It feels like a lot of the Clash maps that have been going to have been the Hanaoka map. Definitely the one that Miami prefers at the very least, and from what I've watched of UR Overwatch, it has definitely been the preferred map for a lot of the teams as well, whenever they do decide to go to Clash, which, granted, has not happened very often. So I'm interested to see the strats that get pulled out by both teams here to adapt to the new map. I'm assuming we're going to be seeing more Arena's Doomfist, as per usual. But this is definitely a map where you can run Brawl. Both of them are, to be fair. So Reinhardt can absolutely be effective here. However, dive with fast rotations as well. Jumping on somebody, getting back immediately, can also be extremely effective here. There aren't very many high grounds, though, which makes it hard. The only high grounds to speak of are really on the second map. Which makes for some interesting dynamics as far as comp picks and how you want to play around the map. Oh, and here we go. This is what I wanted to see. We've got Arenos on the Hazard. I love this. Arenos on the Hazard. Dyer back onto the tank to play Junker Queen, which is a very common pick on this map, I feel. You go on the ranked, you go on the quick play, you get Temple, you're bound to see a Junker Queen at some point, let's be honest. Oh, and Arno's swapping off last second, what a bum. And here we go, match point for Baltimore. Let's see if Dallas can bring this back.
taste of poison.
Point really fast. Arnos is in there. And a big punch, but it's not quite going to get as much as value as I think he wanted it to. However, he's back with another punch, uses all of his cooldowns. And he's going to get jumped by this Reaper. He's going to barely be able to get out. And a well-timed Suzu is going to bring him back up. So he's getting really low again, but that's a huge punch. Not going to get anybody off, but it's definitely going to help push them back a lot and open up some space for his team. Or it doesn't seem like anything's really dying right now. Chocoman going down to 8 health from the wound, but not quite dying. But his healers haven't really had the chance to turn around and heal him. They've been trying to keep Arnos and everybody else alive. Log off the map. Trash can falling though. Chocoman gets Strider. Trades off for Arnos. Dire still at full health, and that's scary. Dire taking out Cake. Chocoman taking out White Rain, but Zach trading back. Gingerbread taking out Zach, but Dire taking the trade, and that's gonna do it for point 1 on Anubis. Going Dallas's way, but with this game mode, anything can happen.
Let me balance you out.
And it looks like Dallas opting to take this high right side. Oh no, they're actually just gonna push straight up onto the bridge, and Arnos gets pooped off, but it's not really going to matter all that much. And Arnos definitely gonna be looking for a punch, but the Moira fades out and keeps the coalescence going. Dire falling really low though, but so is Arnos, and Arnos is actually gonna fall. They trade off for Log though. Chocoman getting a big ulti to try and space everybody out, but he's gonna get antied by the Rampage from the Junker Queen, and he's gonna fall, along with Cake and Trashcan falling to Zach as well, and now it's just cleanup.
Rise, ancient flame.
And that's going to be a pretty dominant second point for Dallas. And we got a pause? Uh-oh. Apparently Arnos' game froze. But moving on to that last point, it's going to be tough for Dallas to really take this unless they're really feeling themselves and want to try and get at least a tick there. Looks like we're ready again. Arnos' game is back, it would appear. So not too much time in between. We're back in it. Headed on to the last point of Flashpoint, which normally we don't see get taken, and Arnos is back onto that Zarya that was working so well on Eichenwald. I like to see that. But Zach is holding on to this Blizzard. Oh, and Strider's gonna ulti. And that's gonna lead to 3 of Baltimore getting taken out. Gingerbread popping ult though. And is gonna try and play the hero, but inevitably falls to White Rain. And that's 1 tick for Dallas. Potentially 2 if they can't get a touch. Nope. Chocoman is going to get in there and going to take out Log. Gingerbread taking out White Rain, and that bar is just going to fall really quickly. Dire low. Going to get cleaned up by Trash Can.
There they are. Get ready.
However, Dallas getting that tick is pretty big. Normally you don't get much more than 1, so I think they're happy with that. Especially because they also forced Gingerbread to use ult there too. And Gingerbread's been putting in some work with that ulti. So I think they're very happy with that, especially because they held on to their Blizzard and their beat. Now here they come. Dire falling really low, really quickly though, and just gets absolutely shredded by the Sojourn. Oh, but here comes the May ult, and that's gonna be pretty big. Gonna take out 3. And all of a sudden, it's just Arnos and Chocoman versus the world. Chocoman falls, now it's just Arnos versus the world. Arnos is gonna try and get an exit pick, but he's not gonna be able to do it.
My ultimate is ready.
Does build Grav in the process, but it's gonna be going to match point, or game point, sorry, on the, for Dallas here. Meanwhile, Baltimore's just stuck here with 1. They're gonna have to play perfectly if they want even a chance to win here. Dire is going to fall really quickly despite the coalescence thanks to the orb from Cake, and there's a big grab. Log opting not to pop beat. And that's gonna that's gonna prove to be their downfall as they fall immediately. Cake getting 2, Trash Can getting 1 in that
Challenge.
in that grab. And Trash Can still has ulti. Choco Man still has ulti. Coming back up on another Sojourn ult. Strider coming up on another Death Blossom. And we also have another Rampage coming up. And Baltimore kind of trying to hold space. Zach barely missing the wall onto Arnos. And Strider's going to fall early. Going to get the bubble onto Choco Man as he ulties. Oh, and Long is Ajaxed from the high noon. That's devastating for Dallas. And they're going to clean up real quick here.
Hello.
Dallas is going to get 1 touch here. But it's going to be really tough to take this, only having Blossom and Rampage to deal with. And it looks like they're going to hold back.
Thanks.
It looks like they're not going to go for touch. They're just going to set up to try and take this last point, because they only need to take 1 point here. So it's definitely smart for them to just set up back here and set up. Just get a setup going so they can defend as best they can. Arnos is going to go low, but he's going to get that bubble, and Arnos just going to press W and run it straight into the Zac Strider. And we have another pause. Right as Arnos falls, we pause again. Trash Can just lagged out, apparently. So, looking at the match, how it's going, Arnos is dead, which is going to be very tough for Baltimore to stabilize around. However, they do have a little bit of time as the point unlocks. Strider and Dyer sitting on ulti. We also are coming up on another White Rain ulti on the Moira. However, if Kate can build up that Transcendence, that could be really big. And it looks like we're going back in. Capture point is getting taken, and it looks like Baltimore's just going to play back a little bit. They can wait for Arnos to come back. Arnos is going to be coming back on the Doomfist, so that means he comes back even faster. Gonna get walled off. Somebody needs to break that wall. They get a touch. Here comes the Kitsune Rush. Cake pressing the ultimate, but it's not gonna save people from the... Oh no. Yeah, and that's just gonna be it. Very good ult usages from Dallas there. And they're gonna clean up that point easy and force the game 5. Smart play from Dallas there. Deciding to hang back, not waste any resources on the touch, and Choco Man in the play of the game again. This guy is playing some video games. But yep, we're going into game 5, and I believe, let's see what maps we played. Control first. We played on Push. We've played on Hybrid because we played Ike, so that means that we are going to an escort map, which means Circuit. We could also go to Shambali. Circuit, definitely the Widow map of choice, but Baltimore deciding against it and going to Shambali. Arnos definitely likes this map as far as Doomfist tech goes. He knows some goofy little spots. So I'm going to assume that he is going to be at least trying that, especially on attack. But I'm curious to see if they decide to swap Dyer and Zac around again on tank. And it looks like Dal wants defense first as well. So Dallas opting not to try and carry off of that momentum onto the attack, and just wants to try and stop Baltimore as best as they can, and try and destroy all hope on this defense. I think is the game plan for Dallas here. That's what they're thinking. So we should be going in anytime now. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Dallas, though. Definitely the Dallas right now is a far cry of the Dallas we were seeing from the Dallas we were seeing in Game 1. And Baltimore has been playing well at times, I think. For the most part, they've been playing well. This has definitely been a very, very scrappy match, very hard fought. Which is what you love to see with these kinds of matches. Some of them looking to be one-sided, but the other team able to come back and show them they're not out yet. And that team has mostly been Dallas, coming off of a rough Game 1, going into Game 2, and getting pushed far, but then holding at on second point for 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. It was like Dallas definitely has fought hard to stay in here. And they definitely scrambled a little bit on push, but were able to pull it back in for Anubis. I'm not quite sure what we're waiting on here, but it looks like Baltimore is ready. I know I'm ready. And Dallas is ready. So here we go into Game 5 of this Week 6 matchup to Shambhali Monastery.
Initiating match.
Here we go. And it looks like... Let's see if they decide to put Zach back onto the tank for this map. They will not. They will be opting to keep the Zach Strider DPS line, keeping Dire on tank. RNO sticking with the Doomfist. We've got Gingerbread Choco Man with the, with the classic. Or not. I lied, actually. Gingerbread making a swap to Hanzo here. Choco Man sticking on the Kree, though. Or Cassidy, sorry. Cake on Ana, which we haven't seen too much of. It feels like it's been mostly Juno or Zenyatta. And Trash Can sticking on the Kiriko. Meanwhile, Log on the Brigitte. White Rain on the Ana.
5, 4,
And Zach on the Echo, which we haven't seen too much of today either.
Attackers incoming. Stop the pain.
Use it.
Gingerbread opting to instead go on the Sojourn. It's definitely been working for him. Aranos in a little stall spot, trying to get behind him, but Zach does in fact spot him. He gets to the stall spot though. And Zach doesn't seem too worried about him at the moment, but in goes Aranos. He's gonna drop and get antied. Oh, Zach falls really low, and he's going to be able to fall. A really well-timed Suzu coming in from Trash Can to keep the tank alive. Oh, Strider falling really low, able to get the health back. And Aranos actually gets booped and slept out of the punch. Slept out of the punch and then booped away. It was a big sleep from White Rain coming out to stop Aranos from doing anything to that backline. But Baltimore is able to get a decent amount of push as Aranos falls really low and is going to fall to a well-placed bomb from Dire. I think he might have thought he was safe behind the payload, but that AoE damage proven to be deadly. And Arnos actually swapping onto the Reinhardt here to deal with the Zarya. We haven't seen the Arnos Reinhardt yet today. Chocoman getting the first pick on the Zag. A bubble coming into Strider, but it's not going to be enough. Arnos is or Dire is at really high charge though, but he's going to fall to the Chocoman High Noon. And they're just going to dive in, try and die on point, get as much stall as they possibly can, but that's not proving to be very much. It looks like they thought about a Bastion for a moment, but opted not to do it, and instead going on to the Sojourn for Strider. Dire swapping to the Rheinmere and log on the Mercy. Possibly to try and pocket that Sojourn. Just try and squeeze as much value out of that pick as they possibly can. We have both support ults online for Baltimore, which is definitely scary because Dallas lost out on it, and Dire getting slept. Oh, but a big counter pin, but he's purple now. Oh, and they wasted Nano. The Nano Dire was purple, so the Nano not getting the heals, and he falls immediately. And now Zach is just alone. Shoots Chocoman in the face. Says, "I'm taking one of you with me here." But Cake hitting a pretty big sleep there on the Reinhardt. Showing he can play Ana too. Oh, but Suzu getting used really early from Trash Can to get rid of that anti. Oh, and another big sleep onto the tank from Cake. And that's a big shatter, and it's gonna stall. It's gonna keep Dire and Strider both from touching the point. Dire just bagged Cake on the way out. And but Arnos is really low, but he's gonna live. Arnos was purple and on 1 health, but it was able to live. Some big plays from the supports there. Oh, and Zach getting behind, probably looking for a Blossom or something here. But he's gonna Wraith out, get back to safety. As Baltimore continues this push, a big anti from Cake, and it's gonna get Strider. Here comes the Blossom from Zag, and that's gonna help get Arnos low enough for a Dire Fire Strike, and he's gonna take out Gingerbread as well. Now Dire has Shatter, and it looks like Cake is just fighting for his life in the back, and he's gonna get owned. A big stagger. Was getting gunned down by Log for a second there. We have a Chocoman ulti. We have Cake almost coming back on Nano. We have Trash Can coming up on a Kitsune Rush. Meanwhile, Dire's looking for the Shatter. Oh, but he gets slapped out of Shatter! Another huge play from Cake! However, it's not really going to matter as Dire did get the Nano and is able to run through, but Cake definitely slept them out of that Shatter, which is going to set Dallas back just a little bit as far as the ult economy goes, because Baltimore has 4 ultis. It did get Dire back up to 40%, but there is no threat of a Shatter anymore. And another counter pin coming out, as here comes Baltimore's Nano, and Dire's gonna fall really quickly. So is Log and Zach. Strider does take Trash Can out, but Gingerbread able to clean up. And Arnos coming back up on another Shatter too. He's gonna push up, see if he can take some space. And Trash Can swapping onto the Mercy. Wonder what that's all about. Here comes the Gingerbread. Gingerbread overclock. Oh! Dire blocking the Shatter, looked like. I don't know how if he didn't. I didn't see a block, but nonetheless, Baltimore cleaning up and taking round 1 with 1:51 to spare.
Score to 3. Switching sides.
Definitely not what Dallas had planned when they said they wanted to defend first.
Initiating match.
But they got to shake it off and get the best and put up the best attack that they can. But a lot of work getting put in by the Baltimore supports.
Ready for battle.
More specifically, Cake at the moment, definitely showing up, getting the sleep out of the shatter, hitting some really big antes and getting some big picks. And Trash Can hitting some very timely Suzus as well. But here we go. We're sticking on the Rhine Mirror. We've got Gingerbread and Choco still on their comfort picks for DPS, but we have a lot of changes on the side of Dallas. We have Log on the Lucio, White Rain on the Kiriko, Strider and Zach opting for Widow and Hanzo respectively. So we've definitely got a big poke comp coming out here.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Forward, my friend. The payload is under my...
And they see Arnos emoting in spawn. Zach seeming to swap, getting onto the Reaper. Oh, and Trash Can beating White Rain, able to get the pick in the Kiriko duel. And that's a pretty big early pick. Because now all you've got is Log on heals. But White Rain is back pretty early. Gingerbread getting the kill on Zach. Choco Man getting the kill on the Strider. And now White Rain gets a Suzu off and is able to get back to the tank, actually. Oh, but goes down to 6 health from a railgun shot from Gingerbread, but is still able to live. And Dallas kind of just stagnating. They can't really find anywhere to push as they go into the right room in a big counter pin. Oh, but a really well-timed Suzu, and that's gonna let Arnos push in. But Arnos not gonna be able to get anybody. He's gonna fall. Baltimore still holding strong. Gingerbread able to get the pick onto Zach. Choco Man going low, but gets healed up pretty early. Oh. And Dyer goes down to Gingerbread, so now they're left without a tank. Strider able to take out Choco Man, but they're still low as a huge shatter comes out from Arnos. And that's gonna finish the fight. Zach coming back out and getting immediately picked off as he tries to go for the tank. And Arno's pushing in them into their spawn just to say hello. He's having a grand old time. He's getting into the Christmas spirit. Oh, and here comes the battle of the rushes. Dyer getting a shatter, but not able to kill. But Zach able to come back up and help out. Cake killing Strider. Choco Man is gonna fall. Cake gonna fall, and Trash Can is just gonna keep fighting on that point.
You might have heard them coming if you turned your music down.
But Dallas down to a minute 27. A little bit of a stagger going on on the side of Baltimore, but they should be fine.
Let's get the payload going.
Dallas looking pretty good on ultis. They have Blossom, High Noon, and a Beat. And we have a Nano Sojourn with ulti. And the Beat doesn't hit Zach, I don't think. Either that or it got melted really quick. And Baltimore kind of just cleaning up. Oh, as I say that though, they fall down to 3. I don't think I noticed Arnos die as early as he did. And that's gonna be 0.1 for Dallas. Dyer and Arnos greeting each other as Dyer and Dallas try and take a little bit of space. While White Rain escorts the payload. Chalkman putting a little bit of pressure, but White Rain smartly staying as hidden behind the payload as they possibly can. So now both the DPS are up there, but a big block on the shatter from Dire. And now he has his own shatter. He's gonna hit it, but he's gonna die for it. And nothing's really gonna come up of it. Strider is gonna be able to take out Cake, but it's not looking too hot. Strider able to get the kill though onto Gingerbread. Log falls, and now it's just White Rain and Strider fighting in the back line. And Strider goes down. That's a big shatter, but Zach is back and able to give White Rain the escape route that she needed. Dire is also standing up there, but with limited heals here. Chocoman in the high noon, gets behind them. Oh, but a big Suzu not able to save Zach though. And then swiftly gets picked up. How did he kill Log there? How did he do that? He shot him through Arnos. How does this guy do the things he does? I don't understand. How does this Choco Man do these things?
I'm here. The Kitsune is ready.
He dead shot Log through Arnos' entire body. Oh, Arnos getting really invested. Oh, but Dire's gonna fall really quick. Here comes a Kitsune rush, or opposing Kitsune rushes, I should say. Arnos gets shattered. Oh, thinks about using it, I think, but he decides against it. As Gingerbread and Chocoman clean up shop.
ازيك
60 seconds.
Oh, and Dire finds Arnos in his little hiding spot, and he's gonna get chased. Baltimore sitting on a couple of ults here. Cake has the big nano that he can put onto Arnos at any time. Arnos looking for a little 360 shenanigans maybe. Oh, but it's the nano onto Gingerbread instead. And a big shatter. It's gonna take out Dire. And there's Strider's own high noon. With Arnos just in the back line trying to take care. Now it's just Zach fighting against the entire team by himself, and he goes for the Blossom, gets Cake, but falls immediately to Gingerbread. And unless Dallas can really work some miracles here, it's looking like Baltimore's gonna win this Game 5 thriller. Oh, and Arnos boops him away, and that's gonna be it. That's a big pin from Arnos to boop Dire away from the point, and he's unable to get back for the touch as Baltimore takes care of business here and is able to win the Game 5 thriller. Cake definitely has an argument for MVP of this game. He especially this map, he was putting in the work on that Ana.
cybernetics regulating.
What a match. What a match, what a series. That was insane. I don't think I could have picked a better match to solo cast here, I think. Like saying that like I picked it, but a big win for Baltimore here. And it's an upset too, I believe. That's tough. But a really good showing from Baltimore. I really liked what I saw there. Despite Arnos feeding just a little bit sometimes. They held it together. Trash Can and Cake putting in the work on the support, just keeping everybody alive. There were so many times where it felt like Arnos was just going to explode, but a well-timed Suzu or a well-timed Bionate seemed to be right behind him every single time. Well, that's going to be it for me after a very thrilling match. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. This has been Storm, and I will see you guys later tonight because I'm also casting the 10 o'clock game between KCC and Montreal. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.